Appreciate your joining us, sir. The cyclone landfall on which areas do you think will face maximum impact? Which are the vulnerable areas, sir, at the moment?
Kutch district in Gujarat will probably bear the brunt of the cyclone fury, which is why the maximum number of NDRF teams and SRDF teams are also deployed in that area. And along with that, other districts in Saurashtra will also get impacted.
But how prepared are you? We know that a number of forces are out there from the NDRF, state disaster management force as well. Now, Odisha has set an example, sir, with its attempt to create a zero casualty cyclone handling. Is the West Coast as prepared as the East is, sir?
Yes, I'm sure we are. We have been a part of the briefings which have happened over the past few days in preparation to face this natural disaster. And Government of Gujarat has done their homework in great depth to the extent that the salt pen workers have been evacuated. The pregnant ladies have been transferred to the hospitals in case the delivery time is near and they get stuck during the cyclone. All the precautions that need to be taken about evacuating people have been taken. A lot of teams are in place to bring back normalcy as soon as possible once the cyclone passes. So all these things have been taken care of in great depth. So I think we are fully prepared.
What appears to have also happened is a massive evacuation exercise of people, sir, who live along the coastline. Nearly 90,000 people, according to one estimate, evacuated. Can you tell us a little bit more about those efforts, the number of people you have out on field, just to give a sense of the scale of magnitude of the work being done at the moment to rescue people?
Now the number of evacuated people has gone to more than 1 lakh, and we have 18 teams in place in Gujarat. Initially, we had planned to put 12 because that was the estimation which state government had given us, but we pumped in more teams, knowing that if we have reserves at hand, they would be useful in a worst case scenario. So we have 18 teams on ground from NDRF and 12 from the SDRF.
By when do you think, Mr. Karwal, can we say it is all clear that the cyclone has passed over, the worst is over? How long will that take, sir?
It's difficult to do that. The cyclone has been moving at slightly varying speeds through today also. So now it's moving in at about 6 kilometers an hour, and it's still about 100 kilometers away from the possible point of landfall, which is between Mandvi and Karachi, little north of Jakhau port now. So slight change, it's shifted slightly north. As per the IMD forecast, it will pass away till about midnight, and immediately after that, the action of the response teams will start to bring back normalcy, clearing roads, restoring power, etc. So it depends on the speed of the passage, on the damage it causes, and then on the recovery phase as we will handle it as fast as possible.
You know, you just mentioned the challenge that you will face once the cyclone passes over around midnight. That is presumably when we will all get to know the real extent of damage being done. And you will need to plan rescue, relief, rehabilitation if needed. Is that the next big challenge? How prepared are you for that to actually restore power, as you said, roads which are damaged? How long is this? Is this going to be a long haul over the next few days?
I think the whole process is challenging because the initial efforts go a long way in preventing loss of property and lives. The mitigation measures which were taken in the last few days will bear a lot of fruit, because if we have taken people out of harm's way, we will minimize the loss. It's one integrated thing which goes through from recovery phase and response to clear things up and bring back normalcy. But yes, right now we are in a wait and watch mode at location, at places which will get most impacted, and as soon as they start getting impacted, we will start doing our response to the best of our abilities and getting people out. If during cyclone hit also people have got stranded, we will still go and evacuate and rescue them. And yes, certainly after it passes, we need to get into action to bring back normalcy fast.
You know, Mr. Karwal, in recent years, we've seen the number and frequency of cyclones in the Arabian Sea increasing. Do you think cyclone-prone areas on the western coast will now need more infrastructure for handling such natural events, especially in view of the rising number of cyclones in the west coast of the country?
That infrastructure is quite in place. Even now, Gujarat has moved the evacuated people about to over 1,500 shelters. So the number of shelters is not in shortage, and the evacuated people have been adjusted comfortably in those. The frequency of cyclones in Arabian Sea is less than Bay of Bengal. In spite of that, the infrastructure is good and is adequate even as of now, though we can keep looking at improvements based on experiences like this.
So would you say we have a more integrated system now in place that can meet these challenges from cyclones, whether it's on east or western coast? You've got a SOP that's fully in place now?
Yes, we have improved quite a lot over the last 2 decades since the super cyclone hit us in Odisha, which caused the loss of 10,000 lives. Now the loss of lives is much less, and every time when we handle a situation like that, we look at how lives were lost and try and bring in improvements. But compared to the earlier cyclones, the loss of life is down by 99%. It's only about 1% lives to the number of lives which used to be lost earlier that we are suffering now, and we'll try and bring that figure down as well.
Well, that's very reassuring. Mr. Karwal, you've taken time off from your busy schedule monitoring what's been happening on the ground to join us. Thanks very much for joining me. Let's hope and pray that the situation normalizes as soon as possible.